Greetings and a warm welcome to everyone. My name is Emily Peca from the HERD Project at URC, and I'm going to provide a brief overview of the respectful care movement over the last 10 years in less than 10 minutes to help contextualize the discussions to follow. As we consider if we are trending in the right direction, it's helpful to remember where we began. Let's look back 10 plus years ago. Poor treatment of women and families during facility-based childbirth was not a new phenomenon. We had anecdotes thanks to human rights organizations, flare-ups of outrage, but little documented evidence making it hard to mobilize action. Just over 10 years ago, maternal and newborn health colleagues at USAID actively grappled with how to make treatment during childbirth, which was viewed as a soft and not well-studied topic, something that could be taken more seriously. As a starting point, USAID, through the Translating Research into Action project, commissioned a landscape analysis that demonstrated disrespect and abuse was a problem larger than any individual anecdotes and concerns. Appreciating poor experiences occur beyond childbirth, the emphasis was intentionally placed on maternity care, given the vulnerability of this particular moment. The landscape, which has since been cited hundreds of times, was critically important because it provided a name and a frame for the problem. Having language about disrespect and abuse informed both advocacy efforts and the first research that endeavored to measure prevalence of disrespect and abuse. There is no universal definition of disrespect and abuse. Rather, we refer to domains or categories to describe it. The graphic integrates the categories from the landscape analysis and adds in categories reflective of the World Health Organization's typology. Here we see the emergence of the term mistreatment, thanks to WHO, which is used interchangeably with disrespect and abuse. Thanks to issue framing, cutting-edge research was able to both measure prevalence and describe the drivers of disrespect and abuse or mistreatment. We learned that the problem is caused by a confluence of sociocultural, health system, and interpersonal factors, to name a few. This underscores the fact that there is likely not one factor to blame in any given context, and therefore no silver bullet or single intervention fix to the problem. Our initial focus was around understanding and addressing disrespect and abuse, and then moved on to how to advance respectful maternity care. Appreciating eliminating mistreatment does not automatically equate to achieving respectful care. To date, the issue has found a home in both human rights and quality of care circles. Notably, as you see on the left, experience of care is expressed as an equal component of quality, alongside appropriate provision of care in the WHO vision for quality. With time and momentum, we begin to see the language around respectful maternity care expand to include respectful maternal care, newborn care, etc., and extend closer to the client or people-centered care framings or other variations across different contexts. 5 or 6 years ago, it would be incredibly easy to quickly summarize all of the actions in this area, and now we find that it's virtually impossible to keep track of the proliferation of activity. On the left, you can see some highlights of key events that have occurred, including those that laid the groundwork for the advancement of the issue prior to making this a priority at USAID about a decade ago. Since then, we've seen updated charters, regional resolutions, statements at the global level, global standards, the emergence of national policies and guidelines, advocacy campaigns, and an explosion of research within the last 10 or so years. So are we trending in the right direction? It seems clear tremendous progress has been made in terms of identifying, describing, acknowledging, and committing to the issue. However, there is much to be done in terms of the action agenda to ensure appropriate policy and program implementation and accountability. What we have heard from partners on the ground is, we understand this is an issue, but what do we do? And how can we routinely measure progress? We have an opportunity today to take stock of where we are and what still needs to be done. The HERD partnership supports activities in the areas listed here, and in particular, seeks to advance priority setting, dialogue and evidence generation, and sharing to advance respectful care. Moving forward, we appreciate the need for increasingly inclusive, diverse, and more equitable partnerships, able to engage the necessary range of stakeholders and leverage linkages at multiple levels. We look forward to engaging you in this second decade of the movement, so please share your questions, priorities, and lessons learned. We look forward to this conversation and to hear your thoughts about whether collectively we are trending in the right direction, and hope you'll engage in discussions to follow. Thank you very much.